Harappan civilization. So we are going to study about the Harappan civilization and its sources. First, beginning with what is a civilization? Civilization is an advanced stage of human cultural development. That is to say, where human societies have become more organized and the economic relationships have got more complex. Early man, he was a hunter and gatherer. He would go out on daily basis looking for food. But with agriculture coming up, there was a shift towards a sedentary lifestyle. That is, man became settled. He settled out at one place. People got living together. The village communities came up, which eventually evolved into towns and gradually into cities. So we see the coming up cities and towns was one defining feature of a civilization. How do we recognize that a particular community is a civilization? There are certain defining traits. The first being that it is evolved into a town or city like setup. The second feature is surplus food. With coming up of agriculture, there was abundant supply of food, so surplus food became another defining feature. Division of labor. Now, obviously, when there was enough supply of food, so that was not the only activity that people had to get involved in looking for food the entirety. They could now venture into different occupations, so different occupations and specializations came into being. Some people could get involved in farming, the others could venture out in different occupations like carpentry, jewelry making, boat making, pottery making, and so on. So there was division of labor with people venturing into different occupations, and so division of labor and specialization came into being. Then a civilization should also have a system of writing. There should be some written form of written form of communication that should exist, that defines or becomes a trait of a civilization. So written form of communication is another defining feature of a civilization. Then, with society getting more organized and more complex, public buildings becomes another important trait. There would be public buildings where people would gather together, come up together. So public buildings became another feature, and obviously there'll be development of technology, superior technology, tools, weapons, and technological advancement happening, which will be another defining feature of a civilization. So, civilization is an advanced stage of human cultural development with superior technology and complex economic relationships. With these factors, if found in a community, will help us to recognize that particular community as a civilization. So, next we talk about what are Bronze Age civilization. Bronze Age civilizations are those civilizations which use bronze for making tools and weapons. We see earlier was the Stone Age, when man used stone for making tools and weapons. Eventually, he discovered copper. He started making tools of copper. The weapons were being made of copper. Gradually, man he learned the art of making the alloy bronze made of copper and tin together. So that is how he developed the art of making this alloy bronze, and he started making tools and weapons of bronze. So the civilizations that used the tools and weapons made of bronze are known as the Bronze Age civilizations. Why did man start using bronze? Because bronze was anytime a better metal or better material to use for making tools and weapons. It is more harder, it is more ductile as compared to copper or stone. So man preferred to start using bronze for making tools and weapons. Now, there are four Bronze Age civilizations. That is, these civilizations flourished at the time when man started using bronze for making tools and weapons. They are the Harappan civilization, the Mesopotamian civilization, the Chinese civilization, and the Egyptian civilization. What is a culture? Culture is a term which is used for group of objects which have some distinct style which are found together at one geographical place at a certain period of time. For example, we know the Maharashtrian culture, the Lucknowi culture. So how do we identify that? We know that Lucknowi culture is famous for its Lucknowi tehzeeb, for the Lucknow chicken curry. So there is a distinct style which is attributed to one particular geographical area at a certain point of time, which is distinct from another set of objects or way of life in another geographical area. So that is what is culture. Certain objects which have distinct style in a particular geographical area at a certain period of time that define that particular area with its distinct style. Now, why is Harappan civilization called so? Why do we call it Harappan civilization? Because the very first site to be excavated, to be discovered in 1921 was the Harappan site. So they named it as the Harappan civilization. This is important to note that the Indus Valley civilization, why do we call it so? Because the civilization was found to flourish along the river Indus, so it was named as the Indus Valley civilization. Then why was it called the Harappan civilization? Because when excavations were carried out, the first site to be discovered was Harappa. It was discovered in 1921 by Dayaram Sahni. So they decided to name it as the Harappan civilization. This is also a Bronze Age civilization. Why? We studied that because the civilization used tools and weapons made of bronze, so it is also known as Bronze Age civilization. So you should be knowing that Indus Valley civilization, Harappan civilization, Bronze Age civilization. Why are they called so? Why is these names being given to it? Now, moving to the most important part, sources. What are sources? For us to know about past, something that has happened when we were not present long back, we have to rely on certain sources to get knowledge about that period. As for the sources of the Harappan civilization, we have these sources: the Great Bath, the Citadel, seals, bearded man, dancing girl, dockyard, and a script. These are the sources available which help us to know about the Harappan civilization. Just have a good look at this picture of the Great Bath. You do get a picture based question, so you should be able to look at the picture and recognize that it is a great bath. It's kind of a rectangular tank. As you can see, it was filled with water at that point of time. There are flights of steps, the corridor on all sides. There were rooms and porticos at the side of it. So you should have a look and be able to recognize that this is the Great Bath. Talking about what is this Great Bath, why is it important? The Great Bath, it is one of the largest public buildings to be found at Mohenjo-daro. This is very important. Where was this found? It was found at Mohenjo-daro. Now, the Great Bath has two important parts that you should be knowing about it. One, its features, that its description, what kind of structure it is, how was it made, and that is the defining features of it. The other part is why is it significant as a historical source? Like, what does it tell us about the Harappan civilization? So, first, we are going to talk about its features. 4 points you have to know about it. Straight away, question of 4 points. So, you have to learn 4 points, its significance or its features. You have to learn 4 points each. Its features, it is a large rectangular tank, as you've seen in the picture, in a courtyard surrounded by a corridor on all four sides. There are two flights of steps in the north and in the south which lead into the tank. The pool was made watertight so that there is no leakage of water happening, using burnt bricks, mortar lined with bitumen and gypsum. The water, how did the tank come to contain that water? It was supplied by a well in an adjacent room. So these are the features that define the Great Bath. If you are asked what are the rectangular tank in a courtyard, two flights of steps, how was it made watertight, how was the water supplied to the well? So these are the features that you have to know. Moving on to the next part. Okay, so this is the kind of structure the Great Bath is. Why is it significant? What does it tell us about the life of the people of the Harappan civilization? Again, 4 points you have to know. First is we get to know that the art of building had reached a high degree of perfection. To get such a structure constructed reflects the art of building was quite impressive. Second, it suggests that some sort of ruling class might have existed at that time that must have mobilized labor, collected taxes to build such a structure. Obviously, some sort of authority must have existed at that point of time that would have collected labor, people to come and work together to get this structure constructed, collected tax money to get it constructed. So some sort of authority must have existed to get such a massive public structure constructed. So it suggests that there could have been a ruling class existing at that point of time. Third thing, it suggests that it might have been used for religious purposes. So ceremonial bathing might have existed, might have had importance at that point of time, and it tells about the religious connotations which are attached to this particular structure. So it just tells us about the religious beliefs as well. Another thing that we come to know is it reflects the efficient planning, the great engineering skills showed by the Harappan people in the construction of such a structure, which was made watertight, and there was a continuous supply of water made to the tank by connecting it to a well. So it just portrays its efficient planning, great engineering skills in the way this water supply sewage disposal system has been done. So this is the significance, and these are the features of the Great Bath. Moving on to the next important source, citadel. Now, what is citadel? Each city, it was basically divided into two parts. One was constructed on a raised platform known as citadel. The other was the lower town, which was constructed at a lower height. This raised part of each city was called the citadel. Its height was due to the fact that it was constructed on mud brick platforms. Now, it was constructed on a raised height, and it had all the important buildings and the houses of the ruling elite classes of the society. It had the important buildings like the Great Bar, the Granary, Assembly Hall, and the workshops. Now, it was constructed on a raised height so that it can also provide protection from floods that were occurring quite frequently at that point of time. So we see that citadel was the raised area of each city. It was on a raised. It was constructed on raised mud brick platforms, and it had the houses of the ruling classes and all the important buildings. Now, why is it significant? It helps us to know that there might have existed some sort of social stratification in the society, wherein the ruling classes lived in the citadel area, and the other part of the city, the lower town, there the workers and the working classes must have lived. So it helps us to know that there might have existed some sort of social stratification. So again, in citadel as a source, you have to know 4 points. What is citadel? The raised area of each city, constructed on mud brick platforms. It had the houses of ruling classes and the important buildings, and it suggests that some sort of social classification must have existed in the Harappan society. Next important source are the seals. Now, this has, again, you have to know 4 important points of it, and many short questions can be asked from this particular source. Seals. First thing, about 2000 seals have been discovered. What materials these seals were made of? They were made of terracotta, statite, agate, etc. In what shapes did we have these seals? They were rectangular or square. Some were even found circular in shape. Now, most important, what do the seals tell us about? The seals, they help us to know about the script, trait, religion, and beliefs of the Harappans. They also reflect the artistic seals. Now, these seals, why were they used? How were they used? They were used by traders to stamp their goods. So the seals were being used by the traders to stamp their goods. These seals had, inscriptions on it. They had many animals drawn on it. The script was drawn on it. So we get to know that some form of script existed. The animals drawn on it help us to know that these kind of animals must have existed at that point of time. So it reflects the artistic skills. Then we have found a Pashupati seal, wherein a deity has been shown, a figure of a three-faced deity has been shown, which helps us to know about the religious beliefs as well. A unicorn seal has been found, which tells us about the mythical beliefs. So here you have to know what material these seals were made of, in what shapes were they coming, what do they tell us about? They tell us about script, trait, religion, and beliefs, and the artistic skills of the people, the Harappan people. Why were they used? They were used by traders to stamp their goods. Pashupati seal helps us to know about the religious belief, and the unicorn seal tells us about the mythical beliefs. Again, here you need to have a good look at the picture of the Pashupati seal and the unicorn seal. You might get a picture based question as well. Pashupati seal, you also get a separate question like describe the Pashupati seal. So you have to learn this by heart. You have to know it that Pashupati seal has a three-faced deity wearing a buffalo horn headdress, seated cross-legged on a throne, surrounded by an elephant, tiger, buffalo, rhinoceros with two deer at its feet. You also get a question like which animals are found on the Pashupati seal? An elephant, tiger, buffalo, rhinoceros, and deer. So you have to learn the description of the Pashupati seal. It helps us to know religious belief. They believed in a deity whose this Pashupati seemed to have a resemblance to modern day god Shiva that we know of. We worship whom. So we get to know about the religious beliefs of the Harappan civilization. So seals is a very important source of information. A good look at the two pictures, you can get a picture based question. Identify the seal, the Pashupati seal. What does it tell us about? It tells about their religious beliefs. Then you might be asked what all animals were found inscribed on it, why were the seals used, and so on. So have a good look at these pictures. Next important source is a sculpture of a bearded man. Again, 4 points are important. You might get a short note, write a short note on bearded man, or just show that they were great sculptors with the help of an example. So it is a very fine example which shows the great artistic skills of the Harappan people. What was bearded man? It was a stone sculpture of a man with a beard found in Mohenjo-daro. So remember, it was a stone sculpture. Where was it found? In Mohenjo-daro. The description, which you have to know, it has a shawl worn over the shoulder and the eyes are half closed. Now, some scholars believe that it was a statue of a yogi, so that people believed in some form of worship. So it tells us about that. It reflects the artistic skills of the Harappans, that they were great sculptors. So again, have a good look at the picture. You can get a picture based question. Identify this picture. What does it tell us about Harappans? That they were great sculptors. It is a stone sculpture found where? At Mohenjo-daro. It's a very great example to let us know about the great sculpture skills of the Harappans. Another source is this. Again, we have a sculpture of a dancing girl. It is a bronze statue, like the bearded man was a stone sculpture, stone statue. Here, this dancing girl is a bronze statue found at Mohenjo-daro. It shows the high degree of development in the art of sculpture. The figurine shows the vigor, variety, ingenuity. Again, the description you have to learn. The right arm of the dancing girl rests on the hip and the left arm is heavily bangled, as you may see. It holds a small bowl against her left leg. So here this again shows the great skills of the Harappans as sculptors. So again, you can get a picture based question. Identify this sculpture. This is of a dancing girl bronze statue found at Mohenjo-daro, showing the art of sculpture. Its description. This is one important source. Another important source is this dockyard. Dockyard is a place where ships are built or they are repaired. So a rectangular dockyard was discovered where? At Lothal in Gujarat, surrounded by a brick wall to protect it from the floods so that it is not destroyed. Now, this dockyard suggests that Lothal was one important trading center. And at the coastal areas, the ships must have been used to carry all the goods from these places to other regions for the purpose of carrying out trade. So it also suggests the existence of overseas trade, which was carried out via the sea route. So this dockyard is another important source. Again, have a good look at the picture. You have to know 4 points. Dockyard discovered at Lothal in Gujarat, surrounded by brick wall to protect it from floods, and it suggests that Lothal was one important trading center and they existed the overseas trade carried out via through the ships. So the last important source is the Harappan script. It was a pictographic script, that is to say that the script exists in the form of pictures. There are signs drawn. That was the form of communication. Like we have alphabets, so they had pictures or these signs drawn for the purpose of communicating their thoughts in written form. So it was a pictographic script. There are around some 375 to 400 signs found which show different birds, fishes, human forms. What was the script inscribed on? On seals, on copper tools, on terracotta, tablets, pottery, jewelry. This has been inscribed. The script has not been deciphered yet, so we are not able to know much about the Harappan civilization through the script, but we do know that some form of written communication existed through this script.